Hello, y'all. Today we are going to be learning about fabulous functions. The objectives for today is the students will be able to identify functions and the vocabulary associated with the functions and function notation. Students will construct a table that represents a linear function and graph the corresponding coordinates in the Cartesian plane. And the students will be able to determine that a graph represents a linear function via vertical line test. So today we only have 3 students in class, which is fine, but we need to learn this vocabulary and we need to understand that functions are a part of our life whether we know it or not. When we get paid and we have a job, the amount of hours we work is directly related to how much we get paid. We get paid a certain amount an hour, we get work a certain number of hours. That relation there is a function. So all of us will be using this at some point in our lives. So it definitely directly relates to us. Now, there's a couple of words that we need to know. The first one is a function. The second one is domain. Third one is range. We'll start with function right now. A function is a relation where can only be one value of x for each value of y. And at the end of the class, we're going to be doing what's called a vertical line test, which shows us on a graph if we make a vertical line going up and down, and it only goes through one set of those points, that's a function. All right? So we have John, Joe, and Emma. So John, Joe, and Emma. So, John, what do we know about functions? Anything? No? All right. Joe, we ever heard about functions before? Do we understand that a function is relation? Okay. Emma, what about you? Do we understand anything about functions? Have you heard about functions before? No? All right, that's all right. We'll have a better understanding after the class today, I'm sure. So, in front of us, we have our graphic organizers, and we're going to write the 3 words that I just named: domain, range, and function. And we're going to write a definition, a sentence, and make a picture of them. That way we can understand what the words mean as we're working with this. All right, Joe. So I got this over here, and here's a copy of the notes over here. John, if you want to work with Joe, that's fine. If you want to work by yourself, that's all right too. I like the focus. If you want to use a marker, that's fine. We can use our different colors. Emma, I didn't forget about you. All right. So first thing we write, function. All right, there we go. Good job, Joe, getting to work. I like it. Emma, I'm going to give you a copy of the notes as well. John, you also. Joe, I like the way you're working right there. Nice. So the range is a set of values that the function assumes. So the range is the values that the function shoots out after we plug our x in. So all we're doing our vocabulary right now. All right, good job. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, we got a function box. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, we got a function box. So, this is how the magic happens here. We put in how many hours we work. Out comes our pay. All right? So that's a representation of our function. Good job, Joe. Nice. John, awesome. Emma, cool. I need help with this picture over here. Yeah, no worries. So we'll just draw this out over here. The function there. All right. Awesome. So I'm going to give a problem here, and I'll give an example of a function. So if I get paid $30 an hour, does my hours depend on my pay, or does my pay depend on my hours? Good job, Emma. Awesome. Our pay depends on our hours worked. So our $30 per hour would be the coefficient here. The number before the variable. And our pay would be what's known as f of x. So f of x is going to be our pay. Now, we're going to put some things together here. We have our $30 an hour, and we have our final pay as our f of x. So our pay is our function here. I make 30. So our x is what? John? Hours. Awesome. Good work. So our x is our hours. Now, a couple concepts that we need to know and keep front and center here. Oh, you dropped your head. Sorry about that. The first thing is substitution method. All right? So remember, we're going to be using our substitution here. So substitution. We'll start with 1 hour. So substitution, remember we just put our number in for our hours, and then we solve our equation. And we remember that our coefficient, our number next to the variable, when there's a coefficient and a number and a variable, we multiply. So we're going to be multiplying this to get the function here. How are we doing over here, John? You understand what I'm talking about right now? Function. Now domain is the set of our x values. Alright? Domain is a set of our x. So we have our domain. It's also known as our input. Domain is our input. There we go. Now, just as a little reminder, there's one output for every input. You understand that, Joe? There's one for one. If there's not, if there's multiple, then it's not a function. All right, your input is your domain, and the output, the thing that comes out of this, and we put this rule in here. So the rule for here would be f of x equals 30x. So the number that comes out, that's our output, also known as our range. All right, so how are we doing on our vocabulary? So we have, right now, function, domain, and range. All right, we'll stick with that. Write them down. Now, Emma, let's say that you make $10 an hour. All right, Joe, let's say we also make $10 an hour. John, you have a little more experience, so we make $15 an hour. So the $15 and the $10 is our input. That's the domain. All right? Domain is a number that we're putting into this equation here. So we're putting in our number For our x here, which is our f of x, it's going to be our final answer. It's going to end up being our y actually, but our x is going in here. So we would put our 10 instead of 30. I did 30. If I work 1 hour, it's $30. 2 hours is $60. 3 hours is $90. 4 hours, $120. So if you guys and girls were to plug your number in, instead of 30, we're going to use 10. And John, you're going to use 15. Johnny Dice, how we doing? We all right? You still with me? We're almost done. Do we need a break? A couple minutes? All right, you go take a break. Joe, how we doing here? So we have our function f of x is our notation equals 10 times your x. And we are going to make a chart. Use our x there, our y here. So right now, we're using our numbers and we're making our chart. So Emma, how we doing? 10. Good job. So as we're doing this, again, if I worked 1 hour, it's just our 30 times our 1. If I work 2 hours, it's 30 times our 2. All right, so we have 10. So what would this be? Good. That would be 1. And that would be 10. And if it's 2 hours worked, it would be 20. Good job. Awesome job. All right. 3, 30. Awesome. All right, John, come back in. Awesome. Good to see you. So we're going to do 15 here, buddy. Joe, if you go over to Emma real quick and show her what we just did here. Awesome. Thank you. So, John, so we have our 15 here. All we were doing is we're making our chart over here with our domain, or our input is our x, and our y, which is our output, over here. Boom, 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 boom. If we worked 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours. Now, what operation is this again? Multiplication. Good job. All right. So again, we're just substituting, right? We're substituting our 1 here, our 2 here, our 3 here, and our 4 here. So 1 times 15 is? Good job. Yeah, make it a little easier on you. We got that. 2 times 15. 30, good. 3 times 15, 45. And 4 times 15, 6. Good job. 15, 30, 45, 60. All right, good work. So, now what we have here, how we doing, Joe and Emma? Ah, awesome. Nice work. Now we have our chart. Here's our vocabulary associated with this. And we have our chart, which we have 2 sets of numbers now. We have more than 2 sets. We have a few sets. All right? So, these become coordinates. Joe, what are your coordinates? What are your 3 coordinates that you wrote down? That's your x and that's your y. Awesome. 1 and 10, nice. 2 and 20, awesome. 3 and 30, great. So, I'm going to plot these. I'll show you what I do when I make my chart. So, these are my hours worked, right? Hours. our y-axis becomes our pay. Right? Boom. Awesome. Pay. Now, our intervals here. Let's say it's $10. I know I used 30, but just for numbers' sake, let's say it's 10. So this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So remember, it's a relation, right? It's a special relationship. We're not going to get paid differently. We're not going to get a different amount of pay, or the same amount of pay, should I say. We're not going to get $20 if we work 2 hours and 4 hours. So our $20 is only for the 2-hour spot. That's it. It's only for the 2-hour point. So we are going to plot these. All right? Joe, you want to come up and help me plot this over here? Awesome. I like it.